The story starts on January 6th, 2026. My engineering teacher just assigned the class a new assignment. It was simple: to model a dragster online and later cut it out using saws in person. But little did the engineering teacher realize at the moment, giving this assignment to my class was a big mistake. You see, in the website, there is a competitions tab, and in that competitions tab, there is a leaderboard. And when there are leaderboards, there are people who will stop at nothing to get first place. And because of this, multiple glitches that completely break the site have been found. So, join me on a journey as you discover how my engineering class broke a 3D modeling website forever. In the beginning, everything was very strange. This was a brand new website that me and my class had never used before, and figuring out the new controls had been strange. You see, we had done 3D modeling before, but that was on a different site, with controls that we already knew. Having to switch to a different site completely changed everything. So my goal for the first day on this site was simply to create a dragster that wasn't necessarily fast, but just good enough to place decently high on leaderboards. So I started getting to work. I learned how to model a dragster and how to make curves fairly quickly, and I got the basic shape of how it should look down pretty fast. After an hour of working, I came up with this dragster design. It wasn't necessarily that fast, but it wasn't slow either, and I was personally pretty proud of it. The hardest part about making dragsters in this website is that you have to follow a list of strict specifications about how your dragster should be modeled. There are many different categories which are monitored, and normally you want to optimize it so that it is either at the minimum of that category or the maximum. That means that your design is cutting the borders as close as possible. As you can see, if I make an illegal shape and I go back to the sheet, it will say that there's an error. And if I make a legal design, but one that doesn't necessarily follow the specifications, these specifications will be red. That means that the design is out of spec, which means it doesn't get put on the top 10 leaderboard, but it gets put on a different leaderboard with other out of spec designs. At the end of day 1, I was around 6th place on the leaderboards. It wasn't really that high up, but I was honestly quite proud of it. So I went home that night feeling happy. But at home, I decided that I would improve just a little bit. After working for about an hour at home, I came up with this design. It was revolutionary to the others, as it used a different type of tire, which allowed for less surface friction as it went along the surface. Now, doing this also meant that it was much harder to get a shape that fit all the criteria, but I made sure that it was as aerodynamic as possible. I was honestly really proud of this design, and I couldn't optimize it anymore. I had already tweaked the pixels on this shape for well over an hour, and I was ready to see how it would do against the current world record in a competition. So, I loaded it up, and I pressed start. this record absolutely demolished the other one. The surface friction was at an all-time low. The drag was also very low. The only bad thing was the cost, but that doesn't really matter because there are no restrictions set in place against it. Considering everything that happened that evening, this design was one of the best possible outcomes that could have happened. I could have not made this design any better, and as you can see here by the drag, it performs really, really well. After working for about 30 more minutes, however, I discovered a different type of car that absolutely blew away my expectations. So I knew that that next car had to be my next goal to try and beat. This is the Needle, a car created by my teacher that absolutely demolishes my record. As you can see right here, it beat it by a whole 0.3 seconds, and when I race against it, it just disappears off of the screen. If I wanted to beat it, I knew that this car would definitely not cut it. It's already far too optimized of a design to improve by a whole 0.3 seconds. So I came up with this model. I like to call it the Aero, and it had much better aerodynamics. Now, this design does not follow most of the specifications, but I can still upload it to the leaderboards even if it doesn't. So, after racing them, I realized that it still wasn't fast enough. I would have to improve this car a lot. Let's get started. I had improved the car as much as I realistically could. You could barely even see the main body by this point, and I had gotten the mass down to 7.02 grams. If this doesn't work, I don't know what does. It was time to race it against the Needle. It had been done. I beat the Needle. But something would happen the next day that would absolutely change the course of this site forever. Day 3 started off quite peacefully. I was working on my dragster design, the second one that I had to complete to get my grade of the assignment. I was just adjusting pixels, making sure that it was still a unique design while still being quite aerodynamic. But then, something happened that changed everything. My friend Noah rose up from his computer and said something that completely shocked me.
Anya?
Yeah?
Basically, I've figured out a way to make cars have zero mass.
How does that work?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
What is he talking about? How does that work? I was blown away. If a glitch like that really did exist, then its applications would be insane. Imagine how much your records can improve if you could lower the mass of your car down to only 0 grams. I had to find what he was talking about right away. So, I got to looking. That's it. If I change this text box right here, it should make it so that the mass of the car weighs 0 grams. This is insane. There's really no way that this works. Alright, here goes nothing. The fact that you can make the weight of a car negative was completely insane. I thought the weight of a car could only be positive. Just looking at that number in the specification sheet just feels so wrong. I just don't know what to say about it. So, using this new glitch, I eagerly put my car as Contender 1 and the Needle as Contender 2. I didn't know what was going to happen here. How would the game render a negative mass? Well, it was time to find out. Alright, wait, what is happening right now? Why is the car not even moving? It's kind of just like idling at the start line for some reason. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, the results just came in. Wait, what does it say here? Wait, I got 0. How does that work? How did I get 0.02 seconds even though I was at the start line the whole time? That's confusing a little bit. I don't know what to say. I guess I must be at the top of the leaderboards now, right? Fast forwarding a little bit in time, most of the records at the top of the leaderboards are looking somewhat like the race I just showed you. It's stupid cars just idling at the start line for an extremely unnecessary period of time. Just look, I don't know how to describe this. I won't even try. And after you let the results screen come in, the result is always the same. 0.02 seconds along with some of these crazy numbers that I have no clue what they mean. So whether this bug is for the good or the bad, it may have ruined the whole site, but it let us improve by a whole 0.5 seconds. And as far as I know, there's no physical way to get further. And I'm honestly really happy that this bug got discovered. This is completely insane. Now, the top 10 leaderboards are still sitting there doing nothing. What if this bug could be used to optimize those leaderboards too? Well, guess we're gonna have to keep looking. Due to the new weight bug that just got found, my old record is now completely obsolete. Being able to not worry about the mass means that I can make a much more aerodynamic shape, and these records could also get improved a lot. I mean, considering the other ones got broken by the glitch, why wouldn't these ones get too? I mean, maybe they wouldn't get broken this much, and I hope they don't, but it could still be a basis for some improvement. So, let's get to work. I have to optimize this car a lot in order to make it faster. So, let's hope the weight bug helps, and let's get started. So, now I've optimized the design quite a bit. It's looking a lot more aerodynamic and a lot cooler. And looking at the output sheet, most of the specifications are as low or as high as they can be, which is great. Now, I want to race this brand new design against the previous world record holder to see how it does. Oh wow, 0.01 seconds may not sound like a lot, but that is a crazy improvement. The drag is insane. That is the lowest I've ever seen. Wow. The fact that in just the past 4 days, multiple game-breaking glitches have been found that have destroyed this website is completely insane. And now, we just have to hope that the website does not find this YouTube video.